Hey everyone, Nubkeks here. As you can see, this is episode 1 of the new season, but in the previous season, in season 3, we did grab Grandmaster at the end, got up to number 155, which is pretty cool. We got 2,000 gold, which is nice, I suppose. We got an elemental deer, we got the Grandmaster portrait, and the epic elemental deer as well. We got 55,000 gold now, lucky me, but we will make do with that. Anyway, here we are into the first placement game, starting off with the draft as usual, as we begin the 2017 Season 1 Road to Grandmaster here. Gonna turn the music back on, realize that was turned off, whoops to daisies. But yeah, the goal for this season is to, well, we did finish the Road to Grandmaster actually. For the first time last season, we did hit Grandmaster, which was great. I want to finish it a little bit earlier this season, and people have been leaving suggestions as well in the comments for what we call the series then, when we actually hit Grandmaster. Hopefully doing it earlier and then try to hold on to Grandmaster and climb as high in Grandmaster for the end of the season, if we can. So yeah, we'll see how all this goes. Sylvanas is banned out. Tassadar is still available. I'm just noticing that now. I don't know why Tass was never picked. RAGNAROS is banned out for the enemy team. But yeah, this is bizarre. So anyway, I have to say, you guys will see this over the next week, but I would describe the matchmaking in these games at the start of the season with the reset and everything as pretty damn rough, to be honest with you. Pretty damn rough. Or else, I don't know, maybe it's as dodgy as it's always been, and I'm just being fairly questionable. I'm kind of questioning a lot of what's going on. But yeah, as you can see right here, I mean, we've got GREYMANE. This would be a perfect opportunity to pick up a Tassadar. This would be so good for Tassadar. We could grab Illidan off the end of it if we needed to, or something else. The enemy team grabs Falstad, which is okay. Not a great Falstad map. They grab Gul'dan though, and that's a big thing. We get Kel'Thuz, who's like budget Gul'dan. He's like Gul'dan, but worse. And then we get Lucio. So definitely a clunky draft. As I was watching this back, I didn't notice at the time because I wasn't team captain. I wasn't really paying attention. But yeah, Tassadar just completely slipped through, which is absolutely insane. I definitely think we move out of this draft like losing it quite dramatically, by the way. So we'll see that as we go further. But the Gul'dan pick really sucks. Gul'dan is such a huge deal. I think Nazeebo is a good pick into the Gul'dan because Nazeebo does well. Kind of scales up in terms of his damage late game to match him. But yeah, Gul'dan brings just crazy wave clear. It's just pretty scary. And yeah, the enemy team will get to pick their warriors first, probably. So we're going to be potentially locked out of some good warriors here. We'll see. I'm looking at Diablo myself. I think Diablo should be pretty solid. Removes Tracer as a possibility. And this is actually very important, seeing as he's not going to ban Tassadar, apparently. Going to ban ETC instead. Which is questionable, I think. I think it's pretty questionable. Yeah, I was not very happy with their team captain in this one. We'll talk about more of that as we go forwards. Just so ETC is banned out. He's a powerful warrior, but there's a lot of other good warriors here on this map. Every team does grab Artanis, so that's one big counter to the GREYMANE. And then I think they grab Arthas here as well, which is another huge counter to GREYMANE. And there you go. Suddenly our draft is pretty garbage. This is the problem. Well, we've got me. Luckily, we've got our final pick as well, which will be our solo laner. And we should have a good time in the solo lane. In theory, if we look at the enemy team, they have Falstad, Artanis there. They could have Arthas either. They've got a few heroes that they could put down there. Unfortunately, our teammate is going to pick Chen. And for me, this like seals the deal of this being a terrible draft. I thought Diablo was the best pick of everything available to fit in. Honestly, we didn't have enough time to really think or change. So I just went, you know what? We'll just screw it. We'll go with Diablo. I wasn't honestly sure what else to pick. I mean, yeah, it's just a really rough start. So a few things for the new season and why I felt like this draft was so bad. And you'll see some of this frustration from me in the game. Is that, all right, GREYMANE is a great hero, but GREYMANE... It's a terrible time into Arthas. I actually checked just before sitting down to record Masters MMR, which this is, of course. He's got a 46% win rate against Arthas. Like, he just gets hard countered so much. You just can't jump into the fight as a wolf against the Arthas because you get your movement speed and your attack speed super slowed by the Arthas slowing field. So it's a huge problem for him to deal with. A huge, huge problem. So that's something we have to face up against. It's, yeah, like, our damage... If you just look at our draft, right? Oh, it's terrible. It's really, really bad. It's funny, we've got a whole bunch of heroes that are actually very good, I would say. But in combination and against the enemy team, they're terrible. They're even like pretty good on the map, but in combination and against the enemy team, they're terrible. Right, so GREYMANE, he's going to have a terrible time because he's going up against Arthas. He's going to be super slowed. You've also going to have suppression pulse from Artanas. We've got Kel'Thas, who does kind of somewhat inconsistent burst damage. He's going to bring some wave clear, so that's nice. We'd have been in a way better spot if we had Gul'dan and they had Kel'Thas. Unfortunately, that's not the case. But yeah, I just feel like the Gul'dan is going to do what Kel'Thas does, but way better, essentially. Kel'Thas brings a stun. That's kind of the unique thing that he has. But that's kind of it. His wave clear's okay, but not a big fan of it, to be honest. There are 2 damage dealers. Then we've got a Chen. I really don't like the Chen at all. So, I'll talk about this. And there's actually a Chen in the next game as well, except we're up against the same player on Chen in the next game, except we're up against him, and I'm laning against him, so I'll talk even more about it there. Chen is supposed to win his lane. This is what Chen does well. He does 2 things well, and pretty much everything else badly. Number 1, he's very good in the solo lane, in theory, but the reason that he's not played much at the moment is because he loses against a lot of the heroes that are in the solo lanes these days, which is a problem, because that's the thing one of the only things he does well. Chen also, he ate a bit too much damage from Gul'dan there, it's kind of dumb. Chen also, he's good at diving squishies in the back line. With the enemy team, it's got Falstad, then they've got AURIEL, Gul'dan, so there's really nothing for him to dive in. Double warrior as well. I just don't see Chen being able to dive in and do too much. They can gust him away if needs be. AURIEL would be doing tons of healing. He'll be taking tons of AoE damage. Yeah, so it's pretty rough. It's pretty rough, and you're going to see this very much determined, and as well the 4-man team that we've got is way weaker than the enemies, because they've got Gul'dan AURIEL with an Arthas in front. So GREYMANE can never jump in because there's an Arthas in front. They've got better wave clear with Falstad Gul'dan than we've got. So yeah, you'll see. The start of this game is pretty terrible, very much defined by the draft. It gets a bit better like later when people start making more mistakes, including me too. But yeah, the start of this game is pretty rough. And you're just going to see that on the Diablo, there's really nothing much I can do. I'm just going to be kind of sitting around for most of this. There's just not much for me to do. Like, I can't actually engage. The thing is, if I dive in, right, if I charge someone, I'm going to get stuck because I don't have any escape. Arthas will slow me down, so I'm stuck in there. I have to, if I want to take an engagement, I have to be able to sustain through Gul'dan and Falstad single target focus damage, Falstad in particular. And know that my team are going to win the fight. I just don't see that happening. This is pretty bad. I think I actually die here. Yeah, I die. That's pretty rough. Like, overstepped a little bit, looking for something. We just get caught in the Arthas slowing field, we take tons of damage, and we get destroyed. This does get better for me as we hit level 4 and 7 in particular. And then as some time goes by in the map, and I build up souls. So building up the souls will give me more max HP. And then will also get me more HP regen from the regen globes because I picked up Devil's Due, so that will help a lot. And then Soul Shield at level 7 is going to be a big deal too, giving me 25 spell armor when that's maxed out. That's going to be huge against Gul'dan and Falstad, way more survivable with that. So that's basically the plan, is to kind of stall out till then, but we're very much fighting a losing game. You can see in the bottom, by the way, our teammates go for a dive and they die, so that's nice. And yeah, at this stage of the game I was like pretty salty, to be honest with you. I was kind of going, oh my god, first place in game and it's already terrible. I was in a real bad mood. I was like, damn, we have a losing 4-man team. We apparently have got a losing bot lane as well. When does this actually work out? I was just going, I wish I was playing my Nazebo right now. I wish I was playing Nazebo. This would be so much more fun instead of having to do this. But oh well. Like I said, we're down half a level. A bit more than half a level. The enemy team will probably get the first turn in. There's not much we can do to stop that. And yeah, we'll just see how it goes. Now, they've got a couple of heroes down bottom, so I'm thinking we can maybe get a gank. There we go, Falstad overextends, we stun him. Kel'Thas gets him in the stun, following up on us pretty well. So that is nice. We get ourselves a kill. Falstad just overextending, so that's good. Kind of a return kill for me overextending earlier on. Evens that out a little bit, gets us a bit of XP back, which is great as well. GREYMANE is going to solo a siege camp down bottom. And yeah, there we go. It's that's something. That's a nice little bit to bring us a bit back into this game. It's like, GREYMANE's really good at this map. Like, don't get me wrong, he's great. We do our combo on Gul'dan. Kel'Thas misses his stun though. Gul'dan does die, but we have to go really far forwards to secure that. Lucio gets caught out as well. And now I'm in a lot of trouble. Now what I'm going to do is flip Arthas over and then charge him just to get some distance and get out. Because again, we're locked down. We're 40% slowed move speed from that Arthas. Kael'thas misses another stun and Arthas does escape. But yeah, like right there, you can see the difficulty, right, with Diablo. Actually, in hindsight, watching this again, maybe Johanna has a real tough time into Gul'dan. It's tough. Honestly, it's really tough. I think if the Chen was something different, we'd have a better time. So this goes horribly wrong. Basically what happens there, instead, I was coming in, so Chen gets caught out of position, trying to save the Chen. So I went to knock the Falstad away because Falstad was doing his damage to Chen, just knock the damage dealer away so Chen can maybe escape. Unfortunately, Kael'thas threw his stun at the Falstad instead of throwing his stun through Arthas, Auriel, and Artanis, opting for the one-man stun instead of the three-man. You can tell probably. He starts flaming me later, so you can tell I'm flaming him now. I had a fun time when I was watching this back and reviewing this VOD, just as the first one, because I was just kind of curious to watch it back and see what I could have done better, because I was really unhappy with this early game. But yeah, I was seeing all the mistakes Kael'thas was making. It's like, ha ha ha, I get to point all these out because he's going to flame me later on. Fun. Revenge of the YouTuber. Enemy web weavers are descending, unfortunately. But yeah, he should have stunned the tanks and then maybe Chen could have escaped. Instead he went for the Falstad. Couldn't have killed him, so it's a complete waste. And that means Chen goes down. I mean, his stuff missed because I had charged the Falstad to remove the Falstad. You know, if Kael'thas had thrown his damage there on the front line, if he'd stunned them and then hit a Flame Strike with all that bonus damage he gets from Flame Strike, it might have been a different fight in that one. But oh well, didn't work. He didn't opt to do that, and instead we had counter synergy and went down. It's not a problem with Kael'thas, right? Is that he is kind of, well, it's difficult to synergize him with Diablo. You have to respect what Diablo is doing and work with him, and that's definitely not helping with our team. And I think this is where like a big misplay happens. So this is like the peak of everything going wrong. So as you can see, the whole enemy team rotates down to push bottom, leaving Chen and myself to defend. What can we do against this? Absolutely nothing. All the other three members of our team all go up top to defend a web weaver that has no heroes pushing with it, so the web weaver does nothing. All right, our team are coming in, so I'm like, this is the time to engage. Get Auriel out of position. It's before the enemy team hits level 10. Our team, though, they take the long route. I don't know why. GREYMANE is dismounted too, and I go down. So I was super tilted at this point in the game, right? So first of all, I think this is where Kael'thas starts flaming as well. Yeah, so he starts to flame me now. So what happened there, though, was instead of doing it properly, sending either GREYMANE or Kael'thas top. Probably send GREYMANE top, bring Kael'thas down bottom. That would have been perfect. Kael'thas, alright, and Lucio. Instead of doing that, they sent 3 heroes top to defend against a web weaver that had no heroes pushing with it. So completely over-investing up top. Our bottom fort gets completely shreked because the whole enemy team is down there pushing, and they left simply a Chen and Diablo to defend, who can do nothing. Then, before 10 was hit, I did go in for an engage. I thought the enemy team was completely overextended, but teammates ping they're on the way. If they had run through that web weaver turn-in, we could have dived the enemy team. Auriel was out of position. I really do think we could have turned it there before they got heroics. It was a great time to fight. I think it would have worked out really, really well. I could come in, invade them from behind, just like burst down the Auriel because she's out of position. We can dive her with the Chen and the GREYMANE. Boom, she's down. We can turn around and kill the rest of them. I think it would have worked out really well. Unfortunately, instead of coming through the web weaver turn in, they swung back to the left and came in behind the fort. So they were late. So then my engage was obviously terrible. I got killed because they weren't there, and it really didn't work out. So anyway, the Kael'thas started flaming me. I think it was the right choice. What I did, watching it back, I think it was the right choice. You know, just force that fight when they're out of position before they get level 10. They're not expecting it. But yeah, I was pretty frustrated because definitely frustration was an aspect of this as well because of the draft and then because of how the thing has been going. I was just really mad then on top of it that they sent 3 people top to defend against nothing. So yeah, I was not having a good time this game. Not having a good time this game. That's good damage from Kael'thas. We get web weavers, so we're gonna try and make something happen with this push. Now I've lost all my souls because of that fight. Gonna start trying to stack some back up. Just gonna run up top here with the KT so I can grab those souls. I'm gonna come back down, help push in middle. Okay, a bit of a mistake for me there. I was hoping to stun Artanis against that bottom wall. Instead he blade dashed, so we just helped him escape. Actually put ourselves in danger. Luckily nothing happened, but that was definitely a mistake for me. We get to take out a tower here, so that's kind of nice. Coming back a little bit in terms of XP. You see now the enemy team is rotating down against us. Gonna just dismount Arthas to slow him down. Not really looking for anything more to happen. GREYMANE gets flipped in as well. Lucio breaks it down. But just watch this team fight. Like, this team fight is all over the place. Like, we just can't engage. Like, watch this. Lucio, even with sound barrier from Lucio, all we can do is run away. There's nothing to do here. Now, Chen's in a lot of trouble. He actually gets flipped back in. I'm going to try save him by knocking the Arthas away to remove that slowing field. Unfortunately, Chen does die. So that kind of sucks. GREYMANE gets rooted. Nice root by Arthas, to be fair. Good follow-up by Falstad. And then the fear from Gul'dan. And we're just getting wiped out. But like, I think that kind of sums it up quite a bit. That should be a dead Gul'dan. Oh, he's dead. I could have killed Gul'dan there. That's the tilt showing again. Is that I was just checking to see if Kel'Thuz had finished his quest before he died. Again, that's the frustration fully much coming from me. But we could have like overpowered and charged the Gul'dan into the wall. Like, that was a free kill on Gul'dan for us, and we screwed it up. This Gul'dan, this is a free kill on Gul'dan again. Charge, flip him over. W, that's another free kill. That's a frustration coming in and missing out on those two opportunities because of that. But yeah, you can see like the Kel'Thuz is raging. Honestly, I don't think he's playing very well. I think like he's mistiming his stuff. He's misusing his stuns in particular. I don't think I'm playing well either. But I think fundamentally the biggest problem is our draft. I think that last fight showed it so well. It's like we have Lucio sound barrier and all we can do is run away unsuccessfully and then lose a whole bunch of heroes. Like, we can't actually fight because we got GREYMANE into Arthas. That's the new meta. You can't pick GREYMANE into Arthas. We've got Kel'Thuz, who's got like this sort of slow, awkward burst damage. Then we've got a Chen, who just doesn't really do anything. Like, Chen can dive, but he's not able to dive this team. So we've just got this really awkward running away team. Now, if we do find them out of position, like again I mentioned when we were at the bottom fort, and they were out of position without heroics earlier on, but if we get them in a similar position, we could maybe take a fight. Like, just get them in such a position that we can just dive them and kill them. Chen gets killed, so that sucks too. During enemy web weavers, we should be able to defend the keep though, I think. But yeah, if we catch them out of position. So right here, this is a pretty risky fight for me to take, but I kind of felt like we could pull it off. They're all pretty low. There we go. Gul'dan's going low too. That was a good flame strike from Kel'Thuz, and we actually get a kill off of that. So that was just kind of, it was not a good idea really for me to pick the fight there, but it worked out. Frustration coming in. You can see I'm looking for a flank point to get this Arthas. Let's make sure he goes down. We kill him with our Q against the wall, get a stack on our quest, which is nice. And at this point, I'm going to Hearthstone. I have to say, I really like the GREYMANE player in this game. I think the GREYMANE pick was a huge mistake while Arthas was still available. I think that, like, you can't do it. I've actually seen a lot of games be lost this season because someone picks Arthas, the enemy team picks... someone picks GREYMANE, and the enemy team just grabs Arthas, and it's just like, okay, game's over almost at that stage. It just neuters GREYMANE so much. So I think that was a mistake, but I can understand because it's the first game of the season. Like, obviously, looking at the patch notes, it's something that we would have been aware of, and the tier list is something to be aware of. You'd hope most people would be. But I can understand the very, very first game, he wasn't aware of that. But he was very nice in the chat. I thought there was a good contrast between him and Kel'Thuz. Kel'Thuz is flaming, but the GREYMANE is... Obviously, GREYMANE is having a real rough time as well. He's going like, damn, I want to be jumping in and fighting, but it's so difficult against Arthas. So he's having a miserable time, no doubt. But he is, he's staying positive and being more supportive and everything. I thought that was good. That actually cheered me up a lot in the game as well, because I was not having much fun in this game either. But then, like, the GREYMANE player, I've played with before, I quite like the guy, and, because he was, like, just saying, like, okay, nice turn, let's do this. That actual positivity, in contrast to the Kel'Thuz, probably more than anything, kind of made me, like, want to play better and to try to concentrate more to basically cooperate with him. So, yeah. Psychology. Anyway, we're back up to 100 souls, which is good. We're down a talent tier, though, which is not good. So we kind of just have to soak for the moment. We could potentially sneak a turn in. Potentially. We need to clear out, of course, this wave. Maybe one more mats. No, this is just precisely enough. So we could potentially get a turn in here. The enemy team can't quite get one. Okay, it looks like they might be out of position. That's a good knockback from Auriel, so they actually escape. But yeah, that was a good time to dive. We can see Arthas had gone kind of out of position to the bottom right. They have enough gems now. Falstad goes for Gus, and this is good for us. We stun Falstad, it will flip him over, stun him against the other thing. He takes a bunch of damage. We throw down Apocalypse to stun Falstad as he comes out of that Crystal Aegis. Chen actually just about finishes him off. We got Arthas body blocked in here now, so Arthas is going to go down. Stun Arthas against the wall. Just flip him over and stun him against the wall again. I was hoping Keltis would kill him, but he wasn't. Arthas was healing up, so I had to burn my cooldowns to kill him. Didn't want to. I wanted to save those just in case. But in the end, it seems to be better to kill the Arthas with those. Anyway, I think the Keltis had actually thrown out Flame Strike just as we went for the combo on Arthas right there, but didn't know that at the time, wanted to kill him as quick as possible. We're going to work down this Web Weaver. Try to remove that. Lucio dies. I have no idea what happened there, how he could have possibly died in a... Like, the enemy team was outnumbered. Anyway, I'm trying to engage here. Actually, knock the Gul'dan. That was a mistake for me. I thought we could pull that off better than we could. I'm not sure how this fight went so badly. Again, there are only 3 heroes. That was Arthas, Auriel, and... Sorry, Artanis, Auriel, Gul'dan. And we were GREYMANE, Chen, Diablo, and Kel'Thas. So I don't know how that went so wrong. It's the right idea to fight it. Right here I have to come in. I'm trying to save the Chen, who, I don't know, I presume he didn't take Brewmaster's balance, but anyway, he didn't actually spend his brew, so he didn't have the movement speed. I think it was a mistake. It was a mistake for me to come in and try save him. I actually put him in a worse spot. It was a bad charge onto the Falstad that pushed him closer to Chen. Then I had to overpower and charge the Falstad away, which put me in danger, and then I died. The Chen lived, but I died. Which, yeah, I'm not sure exactly what happened. Anyway, the Chen could have been running. It would have been fine if he just used the WE and used Brewmasters to escape, but I don't know if he took it. Judging from the fact he's got enough to share, I'm gonna guess he might not have taken the right talents on other tiers either. But yeah, I don't know how that fight there in mid went so wrong. It happened so quick. I'd even like to watch that one back again. But it was a 4v... First of all, I don't know how Lucio died. Presumably to a Horrify, though I did go down Horrify us during that fight. I don't know. I don't remember. But I don't know how Lucio died. Anyway, he died when he had Sound Barrier active, so I have to presume that it was to a Horrify. Yeah, then we lost the 4v3 somehow. I don't know how. Anyway, the mistake I made in that fight in the middle, by the way, was I stunned Gul'dan against the fort. Then I went to stun him against the tower runes. And then I was like, oh yeah, it's derped. The fort runes still count as a building, but the tower runes don't. You can walk through the tower runes. So we didn't actually get the stun proc against Gul'dan on those. And we just basically knocked him to safety. So that was my mistake there. Now, they've got level 20. Good job by GREYMANE calling that out, of course. Never harm to call it out. And he's going to actually steal the siege camp down below. They can boss, and there's not really much we can do about it. There's not really much we can do about it, to be honest. But yeah, I think, you know, if we wait for level 20, we might have a chance. Like, we've won a couple of team fights. Like I said, it's gotten a little bit better. The enemy team, their positioning has been pretty bad several times in this game, and they've been heavily punished for it. So yeah, like, if we stall the game out until we hit 20, we manage to keep our keeps going. You can see they're not doing the boss yet. But if we can do that, we could also threaten a turn-in of our own. To stall it out even more. Basically, that's what our turn-in will be doing here. Have to be pretty cautious, depush the waves, and then go for a turn-in when we know it's safe. Now, our gems are on the heroes that are to the bottom here. Probably Kel'Thas has most of them. Chen might have some too. I don't know. Chen's got most. But yeah, it's like they could go for a turn-in and pull it off. If the enemy goes for boss, that would stop the boss. Basically, they somewhat cancel each other out. Okay, they didn't go for a turn-in. The enemy team rushes the boss in the meantime. So that sucks. We could have gone for a turn-in there. Like, they could have gone and turned in the bottom Web Weaver thing while the enemy team was doing the boss. That's a big mistake, actually. And now we've got to defend the boss. Pay is pointless. Pay is not pointless. Pay would stall out the game to level 20. I really don't like this Kel'Thas guy. I don't know. He was just super tilted in this game. You can tell that because he was spamming, like, mashing his keyboard in frustration. I don't know why, but anyway, I really don't like the guy. Right, we're doing a pretty good defense here of the boss, so that's cool. That was very close to the Artanis stuff actually hitting. but it didn't, so that's good. But yeah, it looks like this is going to go down, unfortunately. Yeah, it's going to go down. Gul'dan's going to finish that off. So we do lose the keep. That kind of sucks. Again, if we had paid, that would have been a keep saved. That would have been the rest of the map depushed as well. So that's kind of frustrating. Anyway, at this point, I've got 40 souls. I don't have a lot of souls, so this is actually kind of rough, but we should hit level 20. So that is good for me. I think I grabbed Dying Breath in this game. Yeah, I grabbed Dying Breath just because I was, I'm dying a lot. I'm actually very squishy because we get locked in position basically from the Arthas. And yeah, then we can be focused down pretty easily. So I said, you know what, I'm going to go for Apocalypse. Like, they've been killing me very quickly in this. I think Artanis had Titan Killer too. Yeah, he does. So yeah, we're dying very quickly. So I said this would be the best thing to do, would be to grab Dying Breath. The Lord of Terror talent, the one that heals you, sucks out max HP, would have been pretty good here as well. This is great. Falstad overextends once again. We just kill him instantly, which is fantastic. Let's break it down. All right, cool. Gonna pop Apocalypse because they're kind of stacked up. Auriel gets caught. We get feared, get flipped back in. Lucio dies. We're kind of stuck under the fort. That was a very good route, stopped me from flipping him. The Dying Breath comes out. And once again, I'm not sure how we lost that fight. We started that fight off killing Kael'thas. Or not killing Kael'thas, we started that fight off killing Falstad. Like, way sooner than everyone else. I don't know. Like, it's literally just our composition is so terrible that even, like, when we just, like, solo Falstad right at the start of the fight, that we just lose. We just lose. We're fighting on even talent tiers. It's basically a 4v5 and the enemy team just wins it effortlessly. It's just pretty brutal. So they're going to be able to win the game here. They could just go core, easy peasy. Artanis will kill that in no time whatsoever. So yeah, that sucked. That really, really sucked. I don't know. It's like, definitely you could see the frustration coming through for me a lot in this game. Making some very questionable plays. But yeah, it was just really a draft issue, and that honestly has defined so many of these games. I played maybe 30 or so games. That's a sarcastic well played from Kael'thas. Yeah, you can see he's a lovely person, isn't he? He's lovely. So many of the games I've played this season have been really one-sided drafts, like way more than would normally be the case. It's almost a rare game at the moment where I go into it going, okay, both teams actually constructed a pretty good draft. Like, they're actually pretty good picks. And so many of them I'm kind of going, well, you picked losing lanes, you picked losing team fights. Like, you intentionally picked into that. It sucks. So there you go. You can see the frustration just Xing out all that stuff immediately. But yeah, I would say very much so defined by the draft. It's like, I thought, the team fight up top really showed a lot. Well, actually, okay, so in order, we had the team fight down bot, the Web Weaver phase, the first enemy Web Weaver phase, where we sent way too many people went top to defend against nothing, and then instead of like going for the good out of position fight, which is really the only way we ever win a team fight down in the bottom, at the bottom fort for us, they went the wrong way and then raged against me. I think that was a big mistake from our team at multiple levels. I think it was a huge mistake for them to go top instead of coming down. And then I think it was a really bad rotation when we should have been engaging before level 10 hit. So I think that was two big mistakes. That showed kind of discord and disconnect within the actual team play. I think the problems in the draft came through with us, just the difficulties in the early laning phase. For both the 4-man team and the 1-man team. Then specifically, I thought the fight up top really showed it, where we got Lucio's sound barrier, and then we just ran away, and we weren't even able to run away, and we got owned. That was like, I think that was really telling of the problems of this composition. And then, again, that fight at the end, we killed Falstad. It's a 4v5. And then somehow we lose the fight. I think, again, very telling of our composition. What were the big problems? I think the big problems were GREYMANE pick. It's normally a really good map for GREYMANE, but GREYMANE pick when Arthas is available, you just can't do it on the current patch. Arthas is just too good against GREYMANE, you can't do it. Then the Kael'thas pick, I really think there's a lot of better picks that were available that would have done more effectively, like Nazeebo would have been great, for example. There's a lot of things that would have worked a lot better. I think the Diablo pick was It was okay until we picked Chen, I think. But given that we had Chen, maybe something with more mobility, like a Muradin or something, would have been better. But I don't really know. It was just so awkward. And then the Chen pick was really bad too. Their team was just like too tanky, and it's like Chen wins solo lane or he dives squishy heroes, but he didn't win the solo lane. He lost the solo lane, and then they didn't have any squishy heroes that he could legitimately dive. You know, it was like we killed Falstad with Diablo a couple of times. That was how Falstad was dying for the most part. I think Chen finished him off once, but like, so what? Really, in a way, you know, so what? But yeah, I mean, they just had too much healing with Auriel, and they were too tanky with the Gul'dan, and got all the AoE damage. They got this, the Arthas that you got to go through as well. It's just the Chen did nothing. I think it was a really rough draft. You know, I think the game actually ended up being closer than it probably ought to have been, considering how dodgy the draft was. But it was kind of like a slow, inevitable doom. We had a few moments of comeback where the enemy team just was terrible positioning, and we were able to capitalize on that. Falstad in particular went way out of position a couple of times, against Diablo in particular, and we just stun locked him and killed him. But it wasn't enough to win. But there you go, guys. First placement game, pretty rough. So hey, if you've had some rough placement games, guys, I feel you. Yeah, anyway, I'll be back next time, and the Chen is on the enemy team next time, so you can see how that goes. Have a bit of fun with that one. Alright guys, I'll catch you on that coming up very, very shortly. Bye-bye.